Unboxing an oldie. All right, at Gen Con, I guess I should tell you who I am. I'm Devin from Devin Talks Up. I'm a friendly neighborhood board gamer. This is a YouTube channel where the games are made up. What I say doesn't matter. I've started doing that in different order. I should maybe fix that at some point. Anyways, I was at Gen Con. I was working the booth for Lucky Duck. And lo and behold, Tim Eisner was working at the booth. And he wasn't working the Lucky Duck. Lucky Duck gave a part of their booth to him for Weird City Games, his company that's out in Portland. And he was debuting his new game, Leaf, and was showing off his old game, Canopy. And so I got to chat with him. I got to talk with Tim Eisner for a while, and I spent some time with him. He also did Wonderland's War, which I've done some content on. And I also own Tidal Blades and have backed Tidal Blades too. So he's a designer that I respect, and he's also just a really, really nice guy. So I was chatting with him, and then I was spending some time at Gen Con talking to other people, and I was catching up with Kim Breebach from Good Games Publishing in Australia, and they do Land vs. Sea, and they just did Too Many Cooks, and they've done several other games like Guildmaster and Unfair and Funfair that I really appreciate and enjoy those games. So I was talking with him, and I was mentioning the fact that I was working at the booth and that Tim Eisner was there. And then Kim mentioned the fact that Tim had a game that was really, really good. That was an old game called March of the Ants. And he said it was one of his game group's favorite games. It's like area control, very meaty, and kind of works almost like an area control or like a 4X-ish type game that functions in 60 to 90 minutes, which, I mean, if you guys are familiar with, Roy Kennedy's game Last Light that came out, that was the whole pitch of that game, was like a 4X game in 90 minutes or a 4X game in, 60 minutes to 120 minutes or whatever. So that's very compelling to have a game like that is in that category that seems to be really, really robust, but still plays in a meaningful amount of time. And so Kim was talking up this game, and it sounded really interesting because I think ants are super cool. I think ants are fascinating creatures, and I think they're cool. And so I liked that idea of that being a theme for a game. And then also he was just so passionate about how much his game group loved this that I talked to him. I was like, what is this game? I've never heard of this game. And it was Tim's first game, 1 to 5 players, 60 to 90 minutes. And it says explore, evolve, emerge victorious. And so if you know what 4X is, it's explore, expand, exterminate, and something else. Explore, expand, exterminate, there's some other one that makes it the 4X. Anyways, this game seems super interesting. Tim went ahead and sent me one of the copies that he's got left. It's an old game. It's not really around anymore. I've never heard of it until Gen Con. So this is a 2014 release from Weird City Games. Ryan Swisher and Tim Eisner, March of the Ants. Let's go ahead and check it out. And I do think I've got it pretty much centered up there. And I can also fix that because I'm figuring out how to do some editing stuff. So he gave me the base game, got this Empires of the Earth expansion, which I can take a look at, and then these big chonky pieces, which I don't know what they are, but they kind of look, that almost looks like another critter or creature. So let's see what's in here. And this is, non-traditional probably for what Weird City does in terms of like unboxing stuff like that. Like this was an open copy, but then we've got this shrink wrap expansion. I'm just excited that I have a copy of this game because it seems really interesting. It sounds super interesting. Let's go ahead and see. We've got some flavor text. As spring dawns, the great thaw begins. Deep beneath the lush meadow grasses, the queen stirs in her nest and the colony comes to life. Soldiers venture forth, battling centipedes and clashing with opposing colonies for territory. Workers dig an ever-expanding network of tunnels in their tireless search for food. The first larvae hatch, and it is clear this generation will be different. The young ants rapidly evolve into a multitude of new forms. The ants march out to claim the meadow as their own. Interesting. So, game overview. March of the Ants is played over several rounds that represent the passing seasons. Each round has 3 phases. The worker phase, in which the majority of actions are undertaken, the soldier phase, wherein battles and contested hexes are resolved, and the queen phase, where resources are collected, ants must be fed, and the royal decree is given, and all the players slumber. At the end of the game, the player with the most colony points is the winner. Players acquire colony points by controlling the hexes that border the Great Tunnel, harvesting colony points from special hexes, evolving full ant bodies, winning battles, and by completing the conditions mandated by unique colony goal cards. So the interesting thing about this, though, is that Kim, when he was talking up this game, mentioned the fact that there's like warp tunnels and wormhole tokens, which is hilarious because in space that would be like a wormhole, but in this it is physically a wormhole, like a worm tunneling. There's also centipede tokens, which I think might be have wooden options here for those centipede tokens, because that kind of looks like a centipede from the side. And then you've got these like player nest instead of a player board, where you've got these cards that build out the body of the ant, the larva, the food stores, all of the different phases that you go through. You've got the Great Tunnel, and then you've got all of these other hexes that you build out around that. Really interesting. I'm super curious to dive into this. You've got your score tracker for points here, and then you've got, these are the different player nests. As mentioned, you've got a head, a thorax, an abdomen, and you will be able to place cards on there to level up. That's the primitive one, so that maybe seems asymmetric, and then this maybe seems like regular starting player type. So then, let's see. Got all of these chunky. It is so cool to see this. The artwork of this almost reminds me of something like, Terraforming Mars or Ark Nova, that has kind of more of like a scientific look to it. So these are the different tiles. So these aren't the starting hexes. These are not the Great Tunnel. This is just very specific hexes with seemingly, different actions that you can take at these hexes. So here's the Great Tunnel. You've got this big Great Tunnel piece there with, what seems to be, it looks like all of these larger tokens here are represented by some of these wooden pieces here. So it looks like maybe those are upgradable pieces. So you've got all of these different roots. You've got bark. You've got moss and fungal reach. Very interesting. Yeah, the artwork is so unique for like an area control game, because I don't know, it's almost like a big Space 4X had a baby with what is the name of that company that does all the science games? Is it Genius Game? No, is it Genius Games? I can't remember. But so all those centipede tokens, and then once again just more of these hexes that you're going to build out the map, and they have different tunnels that go off of them, which I guess connect to the different parts, and those are symbolized by these white edge pieces, and so I guess that's how they connect, and that's how you build out the colony when you're sitting there. That is so cool. Very interesting. Wow. Oh, okay, no, that is more than one. I was like, that's a really thick cardboard. There does seem to be quite a lot of tiles, which is cool. I think that, the basic ones plus those like special location ones are going to give quite a lot of interesting. There's some that show like crown points on there, so I wonder if those are places where you can get points for holding those locations. So let's see. That is all of those tiles. This is the Great Tunnel here. And then let's go ahead and check what else we got. We got some baggies that we can put stuff in. We've got what look to be, your player cubes. We've got the different colors here. I'll slot those into these bags some other time. But these are the different player colors. You've also got these tokens here, which I can get into. And then, once again, just like this worker face here. Gosh, plastic is so crinkly, so loud. Got all of these different cards, which are going to make up different parts of the... there we go. Going to make up different parts of the ants. And then also, like it looked like there were event cards on here too. Event. A Queen's Journey. Look at the top 3 hexes. Choose one and place it adjacent to any other hex in the meadow. So you do have these actionable cards, these event cards that you can go on. Colony goal cards. And then, yeah, interesting. Oh, and then evolution is the different body parts that you can get. So this is a trap jaw head. That's so cool. There's different heads, thoraxes, and abdomens that you can do. Let's see. Yeah, and it looks like these are like asymmetric different ones that you can get. And you've got this event, your evolution, the colony goal there. The centipede horde wins immediately if there are no ants in there. I wonder if there's a co-op mode, or maybe that's the solo mode. Interesting. Common head, common head, common head, common head, common head, common head, common head. So there's a lot of different options of these. This is more than the player count is up to. This is 7 different ones there, which I wonder if there's different asymmetric types on the back, and then you can, pick from amongst those. So those are the different scoring. You've got colony points and ant battles. So these are nice little reference sheets, which I love reference sheets, and I feel like most games don't do them. So it's awesome that a game from all the way back in 2014 had them. So props to you. Props to you. Check out this expansion. See what this expansion does. I don't have my cheese knife right now. I don't know where the cheese knife is over there. I guess I could have used the cheese knife. Hashtag cheese knife. Also, I need a sip of tea. This is cool. I'm excited to check this game out. I'm excited to check this out. I think that I have some people that would be interested in playing this. So, March of the Ants, Empires of the Earth. Interesting. It's got stickers on it. So it's got Queen's Decree cards. It's got more of these like regular cards, which might have evolution pieces and stuff. It's got the rule set in here. And interesting, it's got some like artwork. I wonder if that's gameplay stuff or just extra add-ons. So then let's see, Empires of the Earth. Let's check this out. Welcome to the Empires of the Earth. If this is your first time playing March of the Ants, we recommend playing only with the base game before exploring this. This includes mutations, chambers, and Queen's Decrees, as well as a new evolution, event, and colony gold cards. So that's this stack here is those new ones. And then, let's see. The mutations function similarly to evolutions, but are selected at the start of the game and give each colony unique powers. Oh, cool. Chambers are shuffled into the main card deck. They give players an alternative reaction ability and feature recurring effects that players can use to create long-term strategies. Also cool. And then Queen's Decrees create goals that all players can compete for. Each of these components can be played separately, or they can all play together. For new players, we suggest playing without the mutations and Queen Decrees, so only adding in the chambers. So cool. And then it's got, rule sets for all of those different ones. I'm excited. That sounds super interesting. Sounds super interesting. All right, so let's get this stuff back in the box. Let's pop this back in there. Empires of the Earth expansion there. Let's get that there. Let's get these player boards in here. It's so cool seeing opening a game from that long ago. Because that's like 8 years, which in board game terms, that's quite a while. So you know what? I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and put those in that to where I don't have to worry about those crinkly plastic noises. So we're going to put all the cards there. And then I just want you guys to, while I'm doing this, I want you guys to think about your favorite ant story. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got a favorite ant story. It's a rich tableau of storytelling history for us. Is all of our ant stories that we have. So tell me about the craziest ant stuff that's ever happened to you. Is this got that on the other side? Yep. So got that, and then I'll just put those in here with this. Yeah. Actually, no. I don't want that in there with that. And I don't want the other one in there. I just want that to be just the wooden pieces. I want it to be just the wooden pieces. My favorite ant story. I'm just thinking about movies today. I'm thinking about, what was that? Hot Fuzz, where it's like, Molly Perfect Sunday. If you haven't watched Hot Fuzz, you should watch Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is hilarious. Part of the Cornetto trilogy. So let's go ahead and get one of the player colors in here. There we go. Honestly, these are just a bunch of cubes, right? Why don't I just put all the cubes in one bag instead of... Yeah, let's just put all the cubes in one bag. And then, you know, I'm happy to separate them out when I play the game. That's not that big of a deal. Because they're all just cubes and they're not like different types within one color, it's just one component, I don't think that's really a problem. I don't think it's really a problem. Maybe I'll change my mind when I play the game and I'm like, Devin, you're stupid. You're an absolute idiot. I can't believe that that's what you decided to do. At this point, I hope I'm smart enough to where I've just switched it back to front cam for now, to where the top cam is not being subjected to just me opening up these baggies and shoving them into one baggie. Because in terms of like looking at the components, that's not that compelling. So, you know, probably in post, if I've been smart enough, I've done that. Yeah, because now I can switch back to the top-down view because you can see how much space is in the box, you know, if that's something that you care about. Just slot that stuff in right there. Yeah, maybe you care about that, and that's what you're gonna look for. Is you're like, man, look at all that box space. Look at all that box space. Let's get all the tokens in here. Those are the centipede tokens and some of the markers that I have as wooden pieces now. Let's go ahead and just slot the expansion in there. 100% I have enough room in here for this. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and do that. And then I can, you know, pop that in there too. And then let's go ahead and just get this in there. And then that'll be the last thing. It's the last crinkly. It's the last crinkly, guys. And then I'll try not to crinkle anymore. I mean, I'll crinkle in other videos, but I'll try not to crinkle in this video. That's the last one that just flew away. And then that's it. We've got ourselves all that stuff. And I guess, is it possible that this could go in here? Could both of these fit in here side by side? Is that a thing? Is that a thing that could happen? Not really. But I could just put it all in one and then stretch them out a little bit. Yeah. That way those aren't all over the place whenever we're, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Ugh. I really do like bags, though, that have that singular hole in it so that it doesn't, like, bloat up. But that's fixable. That's doable. There we go. March of the Ants with the expansion in there. A game from Tim Eisner and Ryan Swisher. And from Weird City Games. You know, like his first one. I'm super excited to check this out. I think it'll be a fun one. And if you're interested in maybe me finding a way to do a gameplay at some point, then let me know. And I will do that because I like you. I like you. Specifically you, who were just wondering if I was talking about you specifically. I'm talking about you. Oh, extra baggy timestamp. Always, always a pleasure to have some extra baggies. March of the Ants, Weird City Games, Tim Eisner. It was so nice to hang out with you at the booth, by the way. Have a good one.